After an Elite Eight run, Brad Underwood brings in 10 newcomers to Illinois, giving him the 30th best class overall, the 60th best freshman, and the 18th best transfer class. However, multiple guys aren't ranked from either being overseas guys or reclassifying. I'll go over the film on all 10, including a freshman that I think could have the most impact out of anybody on the roster at the end. Kylin Boswell is a 6'2", 200-pound junior point guard transferring from Arizona. He averaged 9.6 points, 3.6 assists, and 2.3 rebounds per game last season. He's definitely a point guard with really good passing capabilities and just being able to read the floor, but he almost feels combo-ish to me in that he's comfortable playing off ball and cutting well. In pick and roll, he's definitely looking for his shot more than facilitating for others, and he does settle for a lot of jumpers. Now, he isn't great finishing inside the paint, so that's part of the reason why too. He just kind of needs to have better feel, I think, on the interior. I think he's quietly a pretty good defender. He isn't going to be a lockdown guy, but he is very capable of just kind of picking up whoever is needed. I am interested to see if Illinois lets him push. Kylin Boswell has the ability to just run and really push and be in transition. He just overall has the body of a Big Ten type guard. I do think there's a bit of hesitancy at times with him, but he's such a good shooter and just being able to create that, a lot of it at times doesn't matter. So on this play right here, we're going to look at Boswell working in pick and roll, getting to a pull-up. So he's going to have the ball right here at the top. And then there is going to be the screen set for him. And lots of pick and rolls, he's pretty comfortable running with them. And so pretty good screen here from Balo, who's going to be on Indiana this year. And this is where Boswell has the space. This is super deep drop coverage from Washington State. Once Boswell sees this, he's either just going to get to a three or he's very comfortable getting into that kind of mid-range area. This time he rises up quickly. You can see as it was a three, knowing that that was just a better shot in general, and he's able to get it to go, something that he does a lot. Cody Booth is a 6'10" sophomore power forward transferring from Notre Dame. He averaged 6.4 points and 4.3 rebounds for Notre Dame last season. He is primarily a spot-up guy. He kind of feels like a Guerrier type replacement is what they're going for. Now, he didn't shoot that well from three last year, just a shade under 30% on 3.5 attempts per game. But movement and kind of off the dribble, he kind of tanked a lot of percentages from it. When he was standstill, catch and shoot, it was a lot better than what the percentage shows. He doesn't feel super comfortable putting the ball on the ground in general. He's not really a facilitator, but where he brings good upside is very good defensive instincts at 6'10". He needs to put some weight on probably because he can get pushed off his spot, but he has good instincts. He is pretty mobile. He's also a really good defensive rebounder, will always crash the glass. And just finding a guy at 6'10" with that type of athleticism isn't pretty common to find. He doesn't always know how to use it, and that'll come with development as he is only a sophomore. So on this clip right here, I want to take a look at the defense from Booth. Like I said, he is mainly a standstill catch and shoot three type guy, so I'm going to opt to show some defense for this film. He's going to be right here guarding the ball up at the top. And so as the ball gets swung, notice this back cuts here, and that's obviously behind a lot of Notre Dame's defense in general. And this is where I think his kind of upside defensively comes in. So as the pass goes in, Booth is going to be able to kind of rotate over and then be able to help protect the rim. So even though he wasn't primarily just hanging out around the rim, I think he has pretty good roaming capabilities. Come over, realize what's going on, and then get the block there. If you're enjoying, please like and subscribe and comment who you think will be the best out of the group. Merez Johnson is a 6'9" freshman forward who last played at Thornton Township in Illinois. He averaged 17.2 points, 14.1 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 3.4 blocks per game. Johnson is a pure athlete. At 6'9", he's really strong but still moves very well, which gives him a ton of versatility. There is so much upside defensively with him. He would be a smaller 5, but he has good upside as a rim protector or a perimeter defender, kind of for those reasons I already gave. Strong, moves well, athletic. He feels like a bit of a tweener between 4 and the 5. We'll kind of see how the offense dictates where he's finally played. He can out-physical a lot of players in the post, and that's what he did. The post moves themselves, whether they get to hooks and kind of relying on footwork, will probably have to come with time. Given what he has, he's a very, very good rebounder, and he also has pretty solid feel with passing in general, which sounds like an Illinois guy. He was willing to shoot the ball a bit from the perimeter his senior year, although I'm not sure how long it would take until it is respected by defenses. So in this film clip right here, we're going to show off just the athleticism that Johnson does have. He's going to be right here on the post, and this is where he's going to get the ball. So now he's going to get it in the post, and like I said, what he likes to do is just be more physical, be more athletic than his opponents, not necessarily having the best footwork or touch. but that's just what he's going to do. Just bully through the defender right there. No call on the play, and now he's just going to be able to go up and dunk. And that's what he does. It gets the and one, finish through contact. You can see how easily he can rise up over people and just bring that athleticism from day one. Ben Hummerhouse is a 6'9" fifth-year forward transferring from Evansville. He averaged 14.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, and shot 41.4% from three last season. He is such a smooth shooter, and that is the biggest thing that stands out. He takes a lot of threes. He took more threes than twos last year, barely, shot 42.1%, and just really, really good feel overall from the perimeter. He isn't really bothered by defenders at 6'9". He can just kind of rise up over the top. I don't think he's an insane movement shooter, but he can be a guy that can kind of pop or go screen when needed and have some sort of movement. There's also a comfort handling the ball. He isn't going to be like some primary facilitator, but like an Illinois guy usually has, he has some playmaking, some facilitating to his game. He has to guard fours and non-factors on defense. I think the defense is very limited in what he can bring. He finished pretty well around the rim, but I do have concern it doesn't translate. He didn't take a ton of shots inside the paint last year, definitely more threes than that. Overall, not quick, but just how good of a shooter he is at 6'9", that's something you always want in a guy. So in this clip right here, we're going to show off the shooting ability that he has and an action that I'm interested to see if Illinois runs. So this is going to be him with the ball at the top of the key. He's going to go into this handoff. Ball goes out, and so this is going to be a go screen right here. So he's not actually going to make contact with the guy guarding the ball. He's just going to kind of slip out up here to the top, so that's called a go screen. And with his defender kind of staying, there's miscommunication here between the defense, which is what a go screen's supposed to do. He's not going to be able to pop out, and now he has a wide open look, and it's such an effortless shot from him. He's going to drill those more often than not. Jaxis is a 6'10" freshman forward who played at Yorkville in Illinois last season. He averaged 10.1 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game during AAU. He is a wiry four that moves pretty well. He's comfortable putting the ball on the ground and taking bigs off the dribble. Now, if he does match up with fours, he'll probably match up with some quicker fours that this could lead to some issues because he is more of a straight line driver, but slower bigs he can take off the dribble, no doubt. Feels like there's a lot of upside shooting, but I didn't see it much. He just didn't take a lot from what I saw. Most of the post work that he did was seals. Like I said, not a ton of movement, but just kind of being able to use his size and get good leverage. Good upside as a rim protector. Not sure if he'll necessarily anchor a defense. More than anything, Jaxis is just going to need time to fill out his body. It's been reported that he's probably going to redshirt, and I think that would be big for him. I'm really just intrigued by the upside of him being this mobile forward that has some playmaking upside, some shooting upside, but in general is just going to take time to kind of fill out. So in this play, we're going to look at Jaxis and just his ability to kind of take those bigs off the dribble. This is going to be him up here at the top of the key. So as the ball gets to him, you can see the big closes out, and although, like I said, I didn't see him shoot much, just the bigs giving him this much respect makes me think that he was like a willing shooter. So he's just going to be in a triple threat, and then from there, just take off. So teammate cuts through, kind of creates this gap, and like straight line drive all the way to the rim, and that's what Jaxis is kind of able to do and provide. Jake Davis is a 6'6" sophomore forward transferring from Mercer. He averaged 9 points, 4.5 rebounds, and shot 40.6% from three. Like some of these other fours we've already talked about, Davis is an elite shooter. He is absolutely a knockdown guy when it is standstill threes, just catch and shoot looks from the perimeter. And that's where he gets a lot of them. Lots of good catch and shoot looks, and he's pretty good whether it be open or contested. I also think he's a great movement shooter. He isn't crazy fast or anything or crazy athletic, but he gets his feet set so quick. He has such a quick release that being contested or open, off of movement, it really just doesn't matter. He gets to the same shot every time. He's not somebody that's going to have much on-ball creation at all, and somebody you probably don't want having a ton of on-ball creation. Defensively, he is going to need to improve, and he's going to have to be put into a role where he kind of uses his assets, but offensively, he's a deep range shooter that can make pretty much any catch and shoot look, and kind of a theme for Illinois is like you just can't have enough of those guys. All right, so we're going to show off the movement shooting in this clip. He's going to start over here on this left wing and just kind of follow him. So he's going to run basically off of two pin downs, a stagger pin down type right here off of this baseline. And so as he does it, defender here already a step behind, good screens. And this is where, okay, so he's coming off this pin down right, and he just has such good footwork and such a quick release. Catch, and immediately it's up. And just so he gets set so quickly that the defense does not have much time at all to recover. You can see by the time he's already well released it, that's when the defense is really starting to close in. So he gets a good look and then he drills it. Tomislav Iich is a 7-foot freshman center playing from Croatia. He last played for Centaur Derby, where he averaged 7.1 points, 3.8 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and shot 42.3%. Now he is a freshman, but he's going to be 21 by the time the season starts. He is very, very skilled for a big man. He is very comfortable knocking down threes. He shot over 40%, and the league that he was in was against grown men for a couple years. So I really like him in pick and roll. He can either pop out for three, where he's shown he's very capable, stepping out, knocking down a ton of threes, or he's a good roller, where he loves to either bury guys or kind of set this Gortat screen where he sets a screen and then immediately seals the guy. I would like to see improved control in the post if he is going to get post-up looks. I like kind of the upside as a passer. I think he has pretty good feel within the system. I think in the right system, he can be a good defender. I don't love him necessarily in hedge coverage, which he was some. He isn't the most mobile, but with his size and not being the least mobile big, he could be pretty good in drop coverage. He has a ton of experience for a freshman. As I said, he's going to be 21, and so although he'll be labeled as a freshman, he's going to have much more experience than the average one. So on this play, I want to look at him being able to seal guys in the roll. Like I said, very, very good shooter. He can step out, knock down, catch, and shoot looks. This is going to be him setting the screen here. So he sets a pretty good screen immediately, kind of gives his guard a little bit of space to work. But what I'm talking about here is now, so on this roll, he always does a very good job of hitting the actual guard. And so with his point guard snaking the screen and going back towards this way, as Iich is rolling, he's now going to hit this guard. And so that way, when the big has to now step up, Iich is going to have all this space he's created already, and he doesn't really have to do any more work other than just catch and put the ball up. Trey White is a 6'7" junior power forward transferring from Louisville. He averaged 12.3 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. He is a very good scorer from inside the arc. He likes to work in the mid-range, where he showed very good comfort and ability to score, but he also is very, very good at both getting into the paint and finishing inside the paint. Very, very comfortable on pull-up twos, and that's where, like I said, he does a lot of his work. He kind of uses his size to finish in the paint, so it's just kind of trying to bully guys, rise up over, and then finish at the rim. He is not a good three-point shooter. He was at 30% from three last season on somewhat low volume, about 2.5 attempts a game. I think the POA defense is very good. So the point of attack defense is something that really stands out to me on what he's able to bring. 6'7", moves very well. Off-ball defense isn't that good, and that's where I think at times he just isn't always kind of fully locked into what the defense is wanting. But he's another forward, comfortable handling the ball if needed, and I think a better role for him could see him with some improved efficiency. So on this play, we're going to look at White's ability to get downhill, finish at the rim. This is going to be him right here in this corner. Ball's going to get kicked out to him. I think it was like an offensive rebound or a drive or whatever. And now he's just going to be able to attack this space. So you can see it right here. He's going to use it, get downhill, get to his kind of his strength, which is trying to get 2 feet inside the paint and then rise up. And so this is where he's able to go up, and that's a pretty acrobatic finish. He isn't always going to just like tower over people, but he has pretty good body control that once he gets inside, he's able to avoid the big rotating to the rim and finish. Will Riley is a 6'8" freshman small forward that is coming from the Phelps School in Pennsylvania. He averaged 26.5 points, 5.1 rebounds, 4.1 assists, shot 40.1% from three. He just reclassified after recently being committed to Illinois. He is a tough shot maker. He at 6'8", he's very, very comfortable getting to his jumper on the perimeter, whether it be pull-ups or catch and shoots. The form looks a little weird and it feels a little weird to me, but he makes it a lot, so you kind of just live with it. He wants to get downhill. 6'8", handles the ball, moves pretty well, and he's able to just kind of use all of that together to get downhill, get 2 feet in the paint. Now, he isn't the most athletic or explosive, I think, especially with his first step and being on ball. So what he goes to is he uses de-acceleration a lot to try and generate space. There is an insane first step, like I said, but good change of pace after. Pretty good touch around the rim, especially at his size. Now, I think one thing is he's 6'8", 180 is what he's listed at. He's probably going to have to put on a little bit of weight. Right now, he doesn't absorb contact pretty well. If it's a straight line drive or the decel doesn't work, then it's going to be a tough shot or turnover if that kind of doesn't work for him. I do really like the upside of his facilitating. I think he made some very good passes. I don't know if he's ever like a primary facilitator, but a very good secondary facilitator. He has the tools to be a good defender. He just didn't always show it, so just kind of being able to buy in will be big for him. Just in general, I think him getting a stronger base and a little bit better quickness is going to unlock everything that he's going to be able to do. All right, so let's take a look at a drive from Will Riley right here. He's going to have the ball up at this left wing. And so going to be kind of an ISO spot. Like I said, he has a good handle. A lot of straight line drives, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially at his size and kind of his length. So he's going to go, and that right there, that kind of deceleration step is what I'm talking about. So it's go, 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 and now it's stop into this Euro step, and then he's going to get good touch. So we're going to go through it again right here. Stop, Euro, and so you can see how he's going not full speed, but close to full speed, and then immediately kind of stopping, throwing the defender past him, and so now he's able to get to that little floater, which he has good touch at. And lastly is Kasaris Yakunas. He is a 6'6" combo guard freshman coming over from Lithuania, where he played for U18 FC Barcelona. He averaged 16.8 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 9 assists per game. He has elite feel for the floor, and that's the biggest reason why I think he can make probably the biggest impact out of all 10 guys I talked about. He can make any pass you want. Run, pick and roll, hit the roller, pull out to kind of somebody on the perimeter. He's just going to throw guys open. He's going to take what the defense gives him, and just I think he has such good feel for the game, especially at 6'6", 200 pounds. Being probably a legit point guard is going to be pretty crazy to see. Good size with also athleticism, so that allows him to get into the paint pretty much whenever he wants. I would maybe like to see a little bit more efficiency, but he was also tasked with a ton, and also just saw a smaller sample size. He hasn't shot well from the perimeter in what I saw, but kind of going through his stats, he's been very up and down throughout time, so there is potential for him to shoot well. I think he's a good defender. He moves well at the point of attack, and he has really good screen navigation. And then I'm going to bring it back to the passing once again. He is just a really good passer, and he has such good feel out of pick and roll that I really think he could probably be the starting point guard for Illinois, especially given that he's 6'6", 200 pounds, and also plays really good defense. So we're obviously going to look at the passing from Yakunas right here. This is going to be him with the ball up at the top in the left wing. And so he is going to eventually get a screen right here in the middle. And so as he comes off of it, we'll rewind a little. As he comes off of it, good screen, gets separation from his defender there. And now this is kind of just where that feel is. So this could be very easily a floater or a pull-up with this defender in a deep drop. But instead what he's going to do is he's going to draw in the big just enough to contest the shot. And then he's just going to throw it up for his big to go get. And like I said, I think he reads the floor really well. He puts passes in spots where only his guys can get, and you just can't always teach that. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and click here to see the Purdue Newcomers preview.